Welcome back, everyone. I am Psycho Emerald. Today I'm back with another Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch action figure unboxing and review. Today I have Clone Commander Cody from the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm Archive line. When I initially wanted this figure, it was back when I kind of first started collecting, and he was worth like $200 to get in the Blue Line, the original Blue Line release. So when they did an archive release, I was definitely keen to get my hands on this one for a lot lower than $200. But I kind of missed him the first time around. But now that he's come back and restocked, I've had my eye on trying to get him off of like Bounty Hunters Guild on eBay, and of course Dorkside Toys. He's been readily available, which is awesome. What finally got me to actually pull the trigger on him was the fact that he was in the bundle with Bo-Katan and Koska Reeves for $40, which was just too good of a deal to pass up for three great figures. And the fact that I just got the Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan from the archive line recently, and that's a great figure, so it just made me want to have Cody to go with Obi-Wan on the shelf, because I think they'll look great having both the Revenge of the Sith versions of those characters. So yeah, I'm just super excited to finally have this figure. I think it looks really great. So let's quickly run through the box before we get the figure out. So here we have him. You can see him in the open bubble right there, so you can see the figure and his accessories. We got the archive writing right there. We got some cool artwork of Commander Cody right there. And up here, we've got the Star Wars The Black Series logo. We got the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm logo up there. We got Clone Commander Cody written in some gold letters. Looks really cool. Then over here, we've got that same cool artwork, just enlarged a bit. Star Wars The Black Series, Clone Commander Cody in cool gold letters once again. And it says, a natural and practical leader in the clone army, Cody was a good fit for General Kenobi, to whom he was particularly loyal. Yep, 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm logo right there. It looks really cool. Then we've got the timeline right here of everything that's been released. I don't know why we've got this guy in the Clone Wars and Rebels. I guess he is in Clone Wars, but this release was probably meant to be the Revenge of the Sith version, because it's a live action version, but it's totally cool with me. This is still the Revenge of the Sith version to me, and I do like the Clone Wars, so I have nothing against Clone Wars. It's just, this is, to me, definitely is the Revenge of the Sith version of Cody. But we also have the Disney and Hasbro logos down there, and we do have a Hasbro logo just sneaking in right there as well. A bunch of legal stuff on the bottom of the box. So that's going to be just about it. Let me get Commander Cody out of the package, and we'll check out the figure. Alright, so here's the trusty unboxing knife. So I'm going to cut it this way this time instead of the other way, since I ended up cutting that little bit of paper at the bottom last time when I opened up Obi-Wan. So let's cut the bubble here. Sorry, you guys can't really see it. There we go. So let's hope we can open this up here. Slide the tray out. Nice. So let's get his blasters out first. Alright, so there's the long rifle. And now let's get Cody himself out of the package. Alright, so there's Commander Cody. Let me get the excess packaging out of the way, and we will take a look at the figure. Alright, so there we have Commander Cody and both of his blasters out of the package, so let's check out the figure. And he's just packed with details. We got all sorts of little trinkets going on the helmet, little antennas, things like that. We've got this on the shoulder pad, which also appears to be an antenna, which on the Hot Toys, I think I heard, I don't collect Hot Toys, but I heard that it was brittle plastic, so if you were posing the figure, you had to be real careful of this. But luckily, Black Series was smart enough to make that a rubbery piece, so you don't have to be worried about snapping that at all. But we do have the orange shoulder pads, and we have the gray coming down here, which I do kind of like, but it does have some chipping and weathering done to it, which is cool. We got the yellow armor on the hands and elbows as well. And then on this arm, we got this strap going on here with more little trinkets going on. I don't really know what to call this, but all the little bits and pieces definitely just give this guy some realism to him, which is really cool. We got this, which is a jetpack, I think. Some gray and bronze paint going on that too, which is pretty cool. And then we've got the belt, which has some bronze paint there, even some kind of yellow, neon yellow almost looking paint there. And then we got some orange as well, more bronze. Pretty cool, some orange. And for some reason, the lower torso here is all gray. I don't know why that is or if that's accurate, but that's what it looks like. And we've got these three stripes here, which have some chipping and battle damage done to them as well. So like the two shorter stripes and the one longer one, a little bit down there as well. And just one orange stripe down here, once again with some chipping, weathering done to it. Looks cool, and it goes around just on the left leg. So I don't know exactly why that is, but that is the way it is. Yeah, lots of cool details. Don't want you guys to miss out on seeing any of the details. Once again, we got the orange always want to call it yellow because it kind of is a yellowy orange almost, but it's definitely more of an orange. But back here we have the white on the kind of straps to the knee pads, and then the orange on the front. And then we've got this up here, which probably signifies his rank, kind of like with the Imperial officers in the original trilogy. Here we've got the gray going next to the fin, which looks really cool. These little things are painted really, really well. Like, that's some pretty cool little detail going on that little rangefinder there. All the little pieces done on here. Just don't want to miss anything because they definitely went all out. This is one of the earlier figures in the line even, and they've just got tons and tons of detail going on this guy. And yeah, you can see the visor there. There is one little paint mishap, unfortunately, on the grill, unfortunately. So you got a little bit of black ending up on the white there, but I'm not too bothered about it. But it is a little bit annoying. We do have the white, which is kind of printed on there on the orange visor, which I think looks cool. Definitely just the whole figure just looks very realistic. Definitely evokes the essence of what Cody looked like in Revenge of the Sith, which I think is definitely what I wanted from this figure. So I'm really happy with it. So let's check out his accessories. Okay, so here are both of his blasters. We're pretty used to seeing these. These ones are a little bit tougher. I think the ones we get nowadays, the newer ones, are a little bit more rubbery, I guess, which these are a new archive release, but I'm pretty sure they're the old blasters. I don't know if that's exactly true, but it might possibly be true. So we do have this shorter blaster here and the longer one, and if you do wish, you can tell me in the comments what they're called, but that kind of stuff just goes right over my head. I do like blasters, but I'm not super interested in the numbers and letters that designate them, but yeah, they are cool looking weapons that definitely go great with any clone trooper. So yeah, I'll probably pose him with this one because he's going to be right next to Commander Bly on the shelf, who's already posed with this one. So I'll probably have him with this, so he'll be kind of breaking up the pattern a little bit. So yeah, let's check out the figure's articulation. Alright, so here we have Commander Cody, and his articulation is a little bit outdated when it comes to the clone troopers, kind of like the clone trooper lieutenant that I reviewed recently. You can check that review out right up there. But yeah, the articulation is a little bit outdated. I also find it funny how the double jointed elbow goes back that far. Not quite natural, but I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, this was at the point where they hadn't really figured out how to make this elbow pad not hinder the articulation, unfortunately. So it's not going to be quite great. But I also did want to point out the head can actually look down really well, which you don't get on modern figures because of the new style. So yeah, look how far that helmet can look down. That's really, really cool. And he can look up a fair bit too. So yeah, the disc hinge definitely gets you a good range. I actually don't know what type of hinge that is, and I don't know the names for all the different points of articulation, but you do have that, which will get you a lot of good up and down, and you can swivel from side to side as well. So you can actually get some good articulation on the head. There's a thigh swivel here hidden by the armor, as we usually see with troopers. Double jointed knee comes up pretty far, but it doesn't really matter how far up it goes because you're not going to pose him kicking someone backwards, so don't really know why that's necessary to mention. But yeah, pretty much the usual articulation, just kind of like with the Clone Trooper Lieutenant. It is a little outdated. They hadn't really figured out how to make a Clone Trooper figure as well as they did later with the Commander Bly figure, which I think is the best Clone Trooper that they've ever made. So yeah, but we'll check out a comparison between the two later and how they look together. But yeah, basically the articulation is a little outdated. You also won't be able to get very high with this because it will be hindered by the shoulder pads, but it's definitely a sacrifice you got to pay to have those cool looking shoulder pads. He's not going to be able to lift his arms up as high. So yeah, let me try to get him into a cool pose and I'll give you guys a closer look at Commander Cody. Alright, so to bring in a couple other clone troopers I thought I'd bring in an animated clone trooper as well as a live action clone trooper. So first for the animated clone trooper, I have the 332nd Ahsoka's clone trooper, which looks pretty good next to Cody. Cody, I think, might be a little bit taller. It's really not extremely noticeable, but if you look at him, you kind of can tell that Cody is a bit taller, but there he is next to an animated clone, and then I'll put him next to Commander Bly, my favorite Black Series figure. See how he looks next to a live action clone. Alright, so there he is next to Commander Bly, and I still think Commander Bly is the best clone trooper they've done. He kind of looks like he's about to fall over right now, but that's because this isn't a very even surface I have them on. But there you have all three of them. So we got Cody, as well as an animated trooper and a live-action trooper. So if you do have the new animated 212th clone trooper, you can kind of see how he'd go with that. The Walgreens exclusive one, if anyone actually does have that figure, which I don't think hardly anyone does at this point because it's so hard to find. But if you do happen to have that, you can kind of see how that will stack up size-wise with him. And then if you have the Order 66 pack, 212th figure from Revenge of the Sith, then you can see how he'd look next to that, because it's basically the same figure as Commander Bly there. So, yeah. And then the most important comparison of all, in my opinion, we have the Archive Obi-Wan Kenobi to go next to his clone Commander Cody. All right, there we have him, and they look so great together. I'm so happy to have both these guys in the collection to display side by side on the shelf. I'll come up with a better pose for Cody, hopefully, to display him with Obi-Wan. But yeah, I'm really happy to add another figure to my Revenge of the Sith part of my collection, because that is my favorite film of all time. And I'm happy to have these two figures next to each other on the shelf, because I think they look really good together. So yeah, let me get Obi-Wan out of the way, and I'll give you guys my finishing thoughts on Commander Cody. Alright, so for my finishing thoughts on Clone Commander Cody, I definitely think this is a great Clone Trooper figure, and especially it's just a great figure of Commander Cody from Revenge of the Sith. It'll go great next to an Obi-Wan Kenobi figure, whether you have the Walgreens exclusive one, whether you have the Target exclusive one, or the Archive release. As I have, he'll look great next to any of those figures, but I think he'll especially look great next to the Revenge of the Sith one, since he is, that version of Cody. And yeah, if you want to have this guy on a Clone Wars display, he'll look great there too. And I just think he's a great figure of Commander Cody, very accurate to what he looked like. They hadn't quite nailed the way to make a Clone Trooper back then, the way they have now, but I think a lot of stuff still really holds up about this figure, and it's definitely okay to just straight repack this guy into the Archive line. So definitely recommend picking this guy up. Because he is readily available now. If some people don't know that, go to Bounty Hunters Guild on eBay, go to dorksidetoys.com, and they will have him in stock for a really good deal. And if you still don't have Bo-Katan and Cosca Reeves, you can get them with Cody for only $40, which I think is a great deal, and they're all three great figures. So yeah, anyway, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts on Commander Cody. If you guys enjoyed this review, please leave a like. I would really appreciate that. If you like Star Wars The Black Series figure reviews and you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing, because my channel is mainly focused on collecting Marvel Legends and Star Wars The Black Series figures. So if that's the type of content that you enjoy, then please consider subscribing in order to join the Knights of Mischief. As always, I hope you guys found this review helpful, hope you found it enjoyable, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.